So this morning I was thinking about that I wanted to go ahead and put a video on, and first I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but then it came to me, and I thought I would just go ahead and talk about something that's been on my mind. And this is kind of like a controversial subject. I've never heard anybody talk about this stuff necessarily. But this is one of the reasons why I am big on forgiveness, for forgiving people, because of so many different factors that could come into place to manipulate people's thinking. And maybe that's why forgiveness is so big in the church, because they know that how big manipulation is of people's thoughts. And so, this is something that I've thought about. I've actually given a great deal of thought to this. I think about this kind of for a couple of years. I'm surprised I haven't said anything about it. But now what it is okay, I'll just go ahead and lay it out on the table. It is specifically human people, us people. So what it is that our thinking could be controlled remotely by an animal. And what I mean by that is that people could be led to do things, sort of possessed almost by an animal. And the animals that I am this is kind of a crazy thought, but I said let's just get out there. Let's just get out there. Back up here. And the animals that I am staying subject to that could possibly be doing that is a big killer whale. And the reason I say that is because specifically at SeaWorld, the staff, the trainers of these whales, they show how a trainer, could have trained a killer whale, an orca, to do things very well. To train an orca, a killer whale, to do things. So the interaction between a human and an animal it's a big thing, it's a big deal. But maybe that's what the dolphins, and maybe a dolphin is suspect too, to controlling a person's thoughts. It's a crazy thought. I just wanted to say a couple of things on the subject. In J.R.R. Tolkien's book, there are the wars that he talks about between the elves and the orcs. And one day I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, man, the orcs in J.R.R. Tolkien's, it sounds like orca or killer whale. I don't know why I made the connection. I just did, but I had an experience several years ago, maybe 3 years ago, because it was in 2016. And I'm kind of like an imaginative type of guy. I think a lot of weird stuff, and sometimes just weird stuff comes into my head. And I was thinking about the hollow earth, and this is still when I was still a ball earther, and I was really heavily involved in believing about the hollow earth. And so in the hollow earth, there's two entrances, which would be the North Pole and the South Pole. And I'm a flat earther, but I still do believe in a hollow earth. But I believe it's more of a partial. It's not like a whole hollowed out ball. It's more like a half ball. Anyway, so I was thinking about At this time, I was thinking about the hollow earth, and I was thinking about that there was a giant bat that lived in the hollow earth, and so I was going on this freaking thinking about how I thought that these giant bats were controlling people's heads. This is just speculation. This is just a crazy imaginative thought in my head. But I am laying forward. The possibility that the interaction between animal and man, they could be telling us and say that our mind is subject to manipulation by animal. And this is just one of the weird random thoughts in my head, so bear with me. Because I know a lot of people think I'm completely nuts, but I contend that I'm not. And I just have a lot of weird thoughts. So I'm laying down, I'm contending, I'm hypothesizing that our mind, our brain, our mind, our thoughts are possibly subject to be controlled by animals. Okay, and so I am laying down possible subjects that could possibly control our minds as dolphins and orcas and whales. And I'm saying that the reason that they could control someone's mind so far away, or someone could be inland, or maybe people on the coast would be easier to control. There was a researcher who researched missing people on national parks. And this was a full-on investigator guy, forget his name, but he was on YouTube. And he had talked about how one of the themes to these missing people on national parks, I think one of the suspect in these national parks was Bigfoot, and they said the weirdest things were happening. But one of the things in Bigfoot research is that Bigfoot, his mind is so powerful that he could make people get lost on the trail and go off the trail with his mind. Has some serious thought power. Anyway, crazy thought. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's not possible. But the interaction between man and dolphins at sea, a place like SeaWorld, they really show that they have a connection to us. And so maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's these animals that have a power over man's thoughts, and they can control remotely. Crazy thought. Kind of a crazy dude. Whatever. Have a nice day.